Hello and welcome to episode 2 of the BrickFilmer Podcast, a podcast series where I answer your animation questions. Joining me today we have a very special guest speaker, OffTheWallAnimations, aka my brother.
Hi guys.
So, do I call you Off the Wall or?
You call me Noah. I don't care.
Okay, so Noah, introduce yourself a little bit.
My name's Noah.
You're
I've been doing animations for maybe 2 years now, but I've been building sets for a lot longer.
Yeah.
We grew up with Legos. We've accumulated quite a bit of bricks over, our childhoods.
A lot better set designer than I am. He's very talented in that regard. So today we're actually going to be answering you guys' set design questions. And so let's jump right into the first question from Patrick. He says, what do I do if I barely have any bricks? Like no bricks to the point where even building a small house is hard for me. And we have a similar question from Productions Vaffy. Hopefully I pronounced that right. He says, how can I create decent backgrounds with almost no bricks?
So, with the first question, I would say either see if you can score getting Lego for cheap.
Yeah, like a lot.
Like on eBay, it's not cheap, but $12 a pound is usually what it's going for. Or consignment shops like Goodwill, or usually you could get them for pretty cheap there. Outside of Lego, I would recommend cardboard. So like Loft Studios kind of set up where he uses quite a bit of cardboard for his backgrounds and his sets. Probably using hot glue guns or some sort of adhesive. That's something I haven't exactly experimented with, but I would recommend something like that.
Yeah, like marker drawings for like windows and stuff.
Paper and cardboard.
Use your imagination.
Yep. You can also, so let's see here for the next one. How can I create decent backgrounds with almost no bricks? So I would say if you're trying to do something like a big landscape, I would use micro models. You can scale down. Say you're doing an apartment complex in the background, or like a background city or something. You can use very little bricks. To create micro scale models and put it far in the background to give depth to your animation.
Yeah, make it look like it's really far away when it's only like just a few short distance away.
Yeah.
To give that illusion. Yeah.
Is there anything else we could add to that?
Yeah, I feel like micro scale is forced perspective in general is really underrated.
Definitely forced perspective
when it comes to making your sets feel like really large with just very few bricks. And I think there's a few more questions on that topic. So,
and depending on what you're animating, a lot of animators they don't use a whole lot of bricks sometimes in their setups. Sometimes what you used to do, you would have you would go to Hobby Lobby and you would get the blue poster board.
Yeah, just for a sky background.
Yeah, and then you would have your base plate and then just a few objects on there to create your set. Bring it to life, kind of.
Before I dedicated my walls to being sky blue.
That definitely worked out.
That works out really good. Oh yeah. I guess we'll go into the next question. Also by Patrick. He says, also, how do I make sets without just filling a background with a bunch of sets? I don't think it's that big of a deal, but I kind of think it shows a bit of laziness. I think he means Lego sets. Just placed in the background randomly, like a cafe building. and stuff.
This may not be the answer to the question, but I would say, like, if you can, like, force perspective, you can definitely, I don't want to say create the illusion, but you can make it look like everything blends well together with that. And, you could do that with camera movement and all that.
Yeah. And having like extra sets just at your disposal that you can just stick around the frame just to fill it in, it can come in handy a lot. I wouldn't say it's lazy.
Props.
I think it's just a dependable asset that you have to build up your scene. But I can see if like you overuse it a lot, then it could look a little repetitive. Let's see. Coop Talk Sports says.
That's a cool name.
Oh wait. That's not related to set design. Never mind. Starface asked how to make set design not feel stiff or low scale and more high scale like nonstop sets when he's using a set. Then he adds to make the world feel high scale like you're not on a desk.
So,
yeah, that's a loaded question.
That is a loaded question. I would say I don't.
It's a lot about adding detail to your sets where the detail will be seen and noticed, if that makes sense. Like filling in the frame of like different things going on in the background to make it feel more lived in and alive.
Yeah, because when you're creating your set, that is your storytelling.
Yeah.
I mean, your set is a part of your story. It is revolving around your characters and their lives. Yeah, the environment. So that would be adding detail is a big thing in set design, and using bricks in unconventional ways, like even using sticky putty if you have to, just to make cool patterns and designs.
Yeah,
that's something I would highly recommend.
Yeah, make your set like feel really lived in and like really think about how to make it feel very real and authentic. That's one of the key things to that.
That's what a lot of the stop motion community, kind of, you don't see a whole lot of. I mean, that would definitely make your stop motion animation stand out quite a bit.
Definitely something I need to work on myself.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I feel like I'm getting better, but yeah, definitely should improve on set design.
Yeah.
Just a smidge. THK Studios asked how to I'll paraphrase, but how do you combine set colors with each other and with your minifigures? So I asked him to clarify, and he says like for color contrast in an image. So I think the main thing is to just make sure, this may sound like really simple, but make sure your main subject doesn't like blend in with the background with like, say like you have a minifigure wearing a blue shirt, don't have like a blue background. Like, I mean, you wouldn't make walls blue anyways, but like, sure, I'll say this, like if your minifigure is wearing like a gray shirt, don't put them right up against a gray wall. It just doesn't look very appealing. And this is a little technical, but I would recommend like looking up the color wheel and like finding opposite colors like blue and orange or even like green and purple. Like just find like opposing colors that would complement each other. Like I guess an example I would give is like my profile picture has my minifigure with a yellow head against a blue background, and it shows like a really good color contrast and separates the minifigure from the background.
I would also add to that and say, if you're, depending on what type of architecture or background you're going for, tans, grays, and light grays really blend well together. especially if you're trying to give it that natural look. It all depends on what you're doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you're doing Star Wars sets, like say the Death Star,
Yeah, a lot of gray.
there's a lot of gray, and there's black and there's white in there. I mean, it's
Yeah.
a very mechanical setting versus a forest background.
Yeah, and like adding little like features in the set, like little control panels with like red translucent little
Things
studs.
that stand out but don't
Yeah,
conflict your image that you're going
yeah,
for.
to add just more appeal to the image and not make it look like a desaturated
Yeah.
something, you know. I think yeah, the main takeaway of color contrast when it comes to set design is just making your colors, just thinking in terms of like color in your image and like making your background stand out from your minifigure.
And that's mostly, you know, an eyeball sort of thing where you're
like
you're gonna know whether you like it or not.
You'll know when you start to match things together that will look good. Like you'll be able to tell. Let's see. Brick Missile Studios official asks, what are some cheap modular buildings like the Spider-Man apartment set that's like $20? I
don't even know for this one.
I have no idea. I don't know any good Lego sets that are under $20.
We've kind of stopped buying Lego.
I didn't even know Lego sets were under $20 anymore, unless you're getting like a little micro fighter from like Star Wars or something. Yeah, but I personally wouldn't recommend getting sets for like set design. Like, don't get official Lego sets. I personally think it's a waste of money. And if you're gonna spend money on a Lego, just buy like a bulk lot of Lego, like a tote of Lego off eBay or something. That will help you a lot more than
or Bricklink.
Or Bricklink if you want like specific pieces.
Yeah.
I recommend that. They're pretty cheap too, compared to like official Lego prices. They sell Lego, but it's just a different store that
they're like private
yeah, like
not distributors, but
like a lot
they're middlemen.
Yeah. And I bought from them and the prices are pretty reasonable considering. But yeah. I wouldn't recommend getting official Lego sets for set design. It's not the best investment to make. Let's see. We'll go on to Amen Studio Official asks, is it a good idea to make an outside of a building for shots of the outside and only 2 interior sets to make the illusion of a large building without wasting bricks?
So is he saying like making 3 different sets or different views of one building to save on bricks?
Outside and only 2 interior sets to make the illusion. So I think you're saying like make a small, not a small scale, but like a pretty normal scale outside building, and then in the inside you make it look really big.
Yeah.
With like only like 2 sets. I would highly recommend that because
definitely do that.
Yeah.
That's like with when you're animating and you're building sets for animations, that is kind of the thing that you want to do. You want to build individual sets because you're only trying to build what the camera is seeing. Mm-hmm. So you're going to save a whole lot more bricks doing it that way. Say like you're building, well in this guy's case, building 3 walls to a house versus building the whole house, you know.
Yeah.
You're not going to see the whole house.
Or even like 1 wall if you're filming straight on, or like 2 walls if you're filming at an angle. You really don't need to do any more than that.
No, and it's a lot easier to move around and take apart if you needed to.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a great way to save on bricks. Mm-hmm. Let's see. we have a question by RTW Films Official. It's not related to set design, but he asks, "What's the best way to get motivated?"
Don't ask
Cool.
me.
Yeah, don't ask Sam. He hasn't made anything for like
No.
almost a year. Well, for me personally, if I have I haven't made any brick films recently. I need to like make another brick film. But like when I'm making a brick film, I think a lot about the story and like making this as good as it can be. So like a really comedic storyline or just something like really goofy that I would love to see in a full finished animation. And that idea alone is what really is what motivates me to keep going and see this project through because I just want to see it made. I mean, like that's the simplest answer I have to that question. A lot of other things count to it, like just making it a habit to animate every night. I mean, for me personally, I like to animate every night, and just building that habit can help a lot to just meet your goals in a more consistent way. But taking breaks is also a good way to get motivated because if you don't want to burn yourself out from a project, and if you don't want to animate for a day or two, don't animate for a day or two, because you gotta really just go with what you feel like doing, and if you force yourself to do it, the animation just isn't gonna look nearly as good as if you're like really into it and enjoying the process. Also, listening to music and podcasts really helps. Like, I like listening to a lot of Nintendo music while I animate, or just like podcasts that, pick my brain a bit and give me something to think about while I animate. That's also something to consider to keep yourself in the animation flow of things. But yeah, that's in a nutshell. That's what my answer to motivation. Let's see. We have a question from the Luke Studios. He asks, "Where can you get those small lights with a wire which you stick under some pieces to make that effect that they are emitting light?" So he's talking about little practical lights in your sets from little wired lights to put inside like transparent little Lego bricks.
Or like lightsabers or anything like that.
Or even like lightsabers. For like practical lights.
Yeah.
For where you can get them, I don't have any. I think you can find some on Amazon.
Amazon and some other places sell them.
Yeah.
If you just type in.
I don't have much experience with them, but I think it's just some wired lights that you just sneak behind Lego bricks and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing too fancy about them, like, but they do. I've seen a lot of animations using them, and they help a lot with adding more depth and like practical lighting to the image, especially with like lamps and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's something really cool that I would want to use it for. But yeah, I don't have much experience with it, but I think you can get some on Amazon. Like, look up like brick lights or like, I don't know. You should be able to find something.
There's companies out there that specialize in just those sort of bricks.
Yeah. Something definitely worth considering. Let's see. How are we doing on time?
We're at 20 minutes.
20 minutes. Wow, we actually voiced through these questions.
We went through quite a bit.
We went pretty quick. We can go in depth on more concepts afterwards. Let's see. The last question is by Dr. Bricks. He asks, "How do you make sure the set design is detailed, but also not too crowded that it's hard to animate in it.
So, what I would say would be like imagine it's like Christmas Day on your set, and you're inside this family's home, and you have presents and stockings and everywhere around the house. But you know, you plan out beforehand where your character is moving, where they're walking, what they're doing, so that way they have pathways that they can walk around all the stuff. Or say like a forest setting. You know how like there's always grasses.
Yeah, you have a bunch of grass scattered around.
Background. Well, that's in the foreground.
Foreground, background, everywhere.
Yeah, except where the pathway where your
except where
character is
minifigures walking. So you strategically place the grass pieces so you have a framework of where your minifigures go in, all his actions. So that way you can plan ahead. So that way he's not tripping over grass.
Yep.
Because that's horrible when you're halfway through animating a scene and you have like a piece of grass in your way. And the minifigure's walking right into it.
Or you're knocking grass over.
Or you're knocking grass over and like kicking it up and trying to make it work so that way you don't have to reanimate the scene. Yeah. That's
have dedicated pathways.
Yeah, like, and I mean, you could take it a step further and like do some storyboarding to like map out.
Yes.
If that helps with you. For like smaller scenes though, like just mentally just map out like what's going to happen and where your minifigure is going to be. But yeah, also like put a lot of the detail in the background. Like foreground detail is really good to add depth, and I really recommend it. Like grass pieces right in front of the camera just to make it feel really lived in and real. But yeah, put detail in the foreground, put detail in the background, and put some detail in where your minifigure is, but not so much that it clutters your set and is easy to bump into and all of that lovely stuff that happens when you animate. All right, that is all the questions. I'm really surprised we covered that. We went really quick.
What are some things that you think would help some people?
Oh, let's see. Set design. How about we talk about when do you do large scale builds and when do you do like
small
scale and more easy to build stuff? Like take the, if any of you saw the big mountain range that Noah built for the Iron Squad, I made a post about that a little while ago. But that is a very large set, the largest set I've ever animated before, and it looks amazing. But on the contrary, if you don't have that many bricks, especially dark gray bricks that flow together, you could make that exact same scene as a micro model. Make the droids just like a stud, make the duck floating in the water a little yellow stud, and do it that way, and it would be a lot easier and more manageable.
Much more.
It wouldn't have that big appeal to it, but you could cut from the opening shot of that, like a little smaller scale model of that, and cut into the regular scale of the droids talking and close-up shots and all that. That's a great method for like, establishing shots where you're trying to establish a set, but you can't actually build the full set.
Yeah.
Micro models and like not only saves on bricks, but I really enjoy watching animations that use micro models for establishing shots because I just think it's so cool that it shows like the little itty bitty details of the set and then cuts into close-ups with parts of the larger set.
Oh yeah.
I really like that in an animation.
As far as like building big sets versus small sets, I would say, using the Iron Squad as an example, we wanted to make a spectacle of this opening scene, or at least the beginning of the film. So I wanted something big. I I wanted something with a lot of detail because I knew that this secret base was going to be carved inside of a mountain.
Mm-hmm.
And, just watching the Clone Wars series, you get a lot of inspiration from that. And I would say only do big sets purposefully. And most of the time I would say do small sets.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people just don't have that many bricks.
Yeah, we have
and that's not something bad. It's just you have to learn how to deal with that using different techniques.
Yeah, we have a large collection we've accumulated over the years. And even still, we barely had enough Lego to build that set.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
also, I would say for set building techniques, depending on what you're doing, like as far as a natural background like those rocks, I tried using a lot of different shapes, not so much flat surfaces, but
yeah, slopes and all that.
Yeah, use like cheese slopes and different triangle settings, triangle bricks, and
especially like
and snot bricks.
Snot bricks, yeah, and just to add that detail with the brush and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That added so much detail.
And adding greenery,
like,
that
because
palm tree.
Back on that color contrast, like that really made the set stand out.
Mm-hmm.
It looked more appealing.
And it added depth.
It added depth, and it made it look a lot better.
I knew I wanted for the platform for it to be a for it to be a smooth surface, just because
that was a pain to animate on.
Well, that's not my department.
I know.
I just build them, and I knew I wanted it to be a flat surface because just it'd be nice to have a smooth landing platform, so that way your eyes wouldn't be obstructed by just seeing studs all over the place.
No, yeah. It made it look a lot really good.
And also, as far as building larger sets, make sure that they're sturdy. That mountain scene, I did not build that strong enough. I think I've had to rebuild it about 3 times.
Oh yeah,
because he would be animating and half of it would fall apart, and it
fell
time.
apart during the animation process, and I was like, oh, and I just tried to piece it together enough so nobody would take a double take on the next scene and be like, oh, this looks totally different. I'm like, oh, that's good enough.
Definitely,
nobody will notice.
Definitely build your set strong. As far as I would say, add detail. Just add detail.
And another thing that really helped is, he built the main mountain, but then he added on like 2 little side pieces of the mountain, so I can maneuver them around whenever I needed to fill a frame when I did like angled shots.
Yeah, so it was like it wasn't one flat wall.
Yeah, there was 2 like additional like pretty decent sized like side pieces that I could just move around and just and use at my disposal for whenever I had an empty spot,
over the shoulder shot or something like that.
Yeah, and I had like you could see my room. I just like put those walls in there. Really helped out a lot. We have a question I just found.
Oh boy.
Probably the best question ever.
Awesome.
By Chips. He asks, what was going on in your head when you built that immaculate box helicopter?
It was not me. It was all Owen.
It was all me, and I take full credit for that thing. That's probably the best set I've ever made in my life.
I told him, I said, I've never seen a helicopter in Star Wars before.
And that idea alone was just like, it's already a weird idea. I'm just going to make this look so clunky and silly because it's like going to be in the final shot at the end of the film.
Riding off in the sunset.
Spoiler alert, like they make it out of the base. But it's going to be like flying into the sunset and like just the box with like propellers idea just flying off in the sunset with all of them hanging off of it. Like that is...
It should be pretty interesting.
I don't know how I'm gonna animate it with the propeller swinging. I'm gonna have to like spin it and then take a picture real quick to show like motion blur.
Yeah.
But I just really wanted to go for a goofy, clunky looking helicopter.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, the only person I know who could make a silly set that looks this awesome would be me.
Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah. That helicopter should show you the amount of talent I have when it comes to set design. Yeah.
Yeah.
My proudest creation. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah.
I'm excited though for you to animate some of the rest of the scenes because of like the fuel room.
Oh yeah, because they'll be like all lit up inside.
What I did was I used so it's an underground fuel room, so I have a lot of gray bricks in there, and obviously the fuel cells. But I put transparent red bricks in there, so that way I could have
You shine a light through it, and it like glows red in the set, and it looks really cool.
I'm excited to see that.
Really cool. Also did the same principle. Gonna do the same principle in like the control room where like the main villain is.
Mm-hmm.
Like just lit up panels.
Very
and, like
menacing.
a very menacing close up shot of him. Like looking through a security camera. Like really, that's gonna be like one of my favorite shots.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna like really take some time on that to make it, because I'm gonna do like a slow camera movement towards them. It's gonna look really good.
Oh yeah.
Really excited for that. A lot of the scenes in this film, oh my goodness, they're gonna push me to my limits with like the amount of effort, because it's like I'm animating like 5 people at a time, doing like pretty
running down
hallways, like
fighting and
like doing some pretty decent sized battle scenes with like 20 droids at a time. Not like at a time, like I'll do close up shots to break it up a little bit. But yeah, it's gonna
it's a challenge.
It's gonna be the most challenging project yet, but it's gonna be the brick film of the century.
We'll see.
This will surpass every brick film you've ever seen.
I hope so, because
that's, yeah.
You see a lot of Clone Wars battle scenes, and
they're really, I'm gonna be honest, they're really dry.
Yeah.
Like,
not saying that we're better than anybody,
no,
but they're just...
But I really want to lean into the comedic, like, this probably gonna be the silliest thing you've ever seen.
Oh, there's a lot of people that make really good, like, one-on-one fight scenes.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I've seen quite a few, and they're very good.
Yeah. And I'm not saying the animation's gonna be the best.
No.
I'm saying, like, the story itself, and, like...
That's a big thing, is just adding story to your films.
Mm-hmm. That's a whole nother podcast.
Set design, like I said, is just a way to do that.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Like, everything you do in your film, this can really help a lot of people out, but everything you do in your film should aid to the story, whether it be lighting, whether it be your camera angles, whether it be the animation itself, whether it be your set, whether it be the voiceovers. Like, everything has to aid to the fundamental story that you're trying to tell in your film. And if you really take that to, like, and really take that seriously and, like,
elaborate on
it and really think through, like, is this really what I want? And, like, is this angle the right angle? Do I want this type of lighting? Should I really do this set, or would this look more, close to what I'm trying to convey here? Like, really thinking through all of that really in detail is what really separates a good brick film from a great brick film, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's something, like, and it doesn't even take, I mean, it can take a little bit of effort and time, but in some cases, it just takes, like, 5-10 minutes of thought, like, oh, well, how do I want that to look? How do I want, what feeling am I trying to convey here? and trying to do to aid the story along and to, bring it to where I want it. And that's a very broad question, but you'll know what you need for whatever you're making. So like just really thinking through the process and all of that can really add value to the brick film. Whew. I think
we covered.
I think we covered everything we set out to cover. This went by really quick.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness. Like we could go for another half hour just talking. I think that's it.
All right.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Noah / OffTheWallAnimations / my
Shake
brother
your hand here, sir.
/ my brother for joining me. This was really fun, and
oh yeah.
I'm still working out. I know a lot of you asked for like, can I be a guest speaker on your podcast? And I'm still trying to work out the kinks with that and trying to figure out a good way to bring people on and like, what to talk about and stuff. So I am working through that. I am considering it. So stay tuned for that. I will definitely be working on that. So until next time. Oh, real quick. This podcast is not a weekly podcast. Me and Noah just had this idea for the podcast episode, so we just wanted to record it and put it up this week. But just know that this podcast series is every other week. Yeah. I wanted to clarify there. Don't expect like weekly podcast episodes. It's every other week. Figured to mention that. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. And yeah, this has been the BrickFilmer Procast podcast.
There you go.
That's been the BrickFilmer podcast. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye, guys.
Yeah.